Hey, what's going on, guys? Ryan here with Texsource. We are doing a video series on how to print oddball items. It's that time of year again, it's Christmas time, and as a screen printer in the past, I'd always find myself wanting to screen print all my family members' items and their Christmas gifts. For one, it was just more of a personal item. Number two, I'm a screen printer and I can decorate it. Number three, I get these oddball items such as a dry duck bag at a really cheap price. We have wholesale pricing with Carolina Made, Samar, or any of your vendors. You have wholesale pricing. Items like this dry duck bag, which is a really nice bag, 45 bucks. After you print it, you don't, as a screen printer, you don't have much of a price in it. But if you had to outsource this, it would be pretty expensive. Another item we're going to print in this video series is this dry duck jacket. It's got that Carhartt style look to it, but this 50 bucks. So in this series, we're going to print oddball items, stuff that printers don't normally print. You guys are used to printing t-shirts, hoodies all day long. But with it being Christmas time, we wanted to show you guys and teach you how to print oddball items. Another, for example, this puffer vest. And it's a pretty nice looking vest, but it's hard to print these because of the way the lining is. So if anything like me, my wife always gives me random things during Christmas to print. And those things are always hard to do. This series is strictly screen printing. We're not embroidering anything, and we're not using DTF. I know DTF is major out there, but we wanted, as Texsource, wanted to teach our screen printers how to screen print oddball items, again, versus embroidery and DTF. So check out this series. We're gonna go straight to printing this dry duck bag and give you guys all the specifics on how to print it. All right, so the first video in this series that we're gonna tackle is printing this dry duck bag. This is a super nice bag. Again, this is the whole Christmas series. You want to buy nice stuff for your family members or whoever that you're buying stuff for. You kind of want to buy nice things, and this is a really nice bag. It's all polyester. It's a dry bag, so when you roll it up, no moisture will get on the inside. But when printing this style bag, things to consider is what type of ink will adhere to the bag. Standard Plastisol is not going to adhere to this. We're going to have to use a nylon binding agent with the Plastisol ink so that it will stick properly to the bag. The second thing to consider is the style palette that you're going to print on. You can't just lay this onto a palette and expect it to come out correctly. You might get lucky, you might not, but another thing to consider in this set of series is the style palettes that you have in your shop. So with this bag, we got pretty lucky. We have this flap here, and it actually has a zipper that will allow us to insert the front of the bag into the palette so that it will adhere properly, just like a standard t-shirt. You want this to adhere and stick and not pull up from the screen when you print. So again, this is a 100% polyester bag. We're gonna have to use a nylon binding agent with a Plastisol, and you'll see that in this series. We're gonna print this small, simple little Texsource logo right on the front of the flap here. So follow us to the palette. We'll show you how to line up this exactly on the screen so they get you a nice print on the bag. So we're going to place our art down on the palette. Make sure you have the artwork oriented the correct way. As a screen printer, you should know what that means. So we put our art down. I have it centered. As you can see, I'm pulling my screen down. My screen does not have any motion. That is by design. What we're doing now is we're just getting our placement. Again, this is not a standard print like your t-shirt or hoodie, where you know every single time where your artwork goes. This is different. So we're going to pull our screen down, put it flush onto the palette. Now there's tape on this art. So the only thing I'm gonna do is just rub the back of it to make sure the tape adheres to the screen. As you see when I pull it up, you see the artwork stuck to it. You see how we have the art stuck here. And now we can take the screen off the press, go to our screen room, measure to where we see how far down we need to come with the art. We'll coat, and then we'll be able to burn it. So follow me to the screen room. All right, here we are in the screen room. All you need to do now is just measure from the top down to the registration marks. We are 5 inches down. And make sure you're in the center of the screen, which obviously you know the center of a 23x31. Just make sure you're in the center of the screen there. Main thing is knowing how far down to go with the screen. Again, the reason why we're doing this, it is a specialty style palette. It's not t-shirts and it's not hoodies on a standard style palette. We are on a specialty 6x6 palette. So this is a tip to help you get your artwork centered correctly. So 5 inches down. And make sure you write that down, that you're 5 inches from the top, because we always forget our measurements. Now we're going to go coat the screen, put the art back on, burn it, expose it, and then we'll meet you back on the press. All right, so our screens are coated, they're drying, waiting to be burned. We're going to be printing on this polyester bag. To be able to print properly onto this bag, we have to have the proper ink. So we're going to print plastisol with a nylon bonding agent. We're going to mix 10 to 15% of this by whatever weight we pour into the bucket of the black ink that we'll use. So far we have about 45 bucks in this bag. This pallet, specialty pallets, probably about $150 from Action Engineering. Every screen printing shop, as you grow, you need to have different style pallets in your arsenal to be able to print oddball items like this. So we're going to go to the scale. We're going to mix our bonding agent to the plastisol. So we got our scale. We're turning it on. We're going to do this in grams. Make sure to tare after each time you pour something in. It's always a big mistake that if you don't keep the proper measurement. So 32 grams, we're going to tare that. We're at 0 in the bucket. This is Union Ultra Soft Black, just a standard plastisol black ink. We're going to pour some of the black plastisol into the bucket. Now we don't need much because we're only printing one bag, but if you're printing multiple bags, you would need to mix the proper amount into the bucket. So we're at 110 grams. So we're going to take, again, the nylon bonding agent is 10 to 15%. I'm going to take the percentage of 13%, so 110 grams times 0.13. I'm going to mix 14.3 grams, or really I'm going to mix 14 grams. I'm going to round it down. 14 grams of this agent with the plastisol. Make sure you tare. And now this stuff is thick. The bonding agent is a thick catalyst. It's like almost like a glue. That is 14 grams, perfect. So we got 14 grams in the bucket. Just mix this up really well. It's very simple. By adding this catalyst, it is allowing this plastisol ink to adhere properly to this style of bag. This will only last, this mixture will last up to 3 to 5 hours, depending on the weather, the atmosphere, and if this bucket is sealed or not. After that, this ink will harden completely, and it will not be no good after that. So you only want to mix what you're going to use. There's our mixture. It still has the same consistency as the plastisol originally had. There's our mixture. Make sure to seal up your bucket. This stuff will harden really quick. So this cost 16 bucks. So again, so far we have a $45 bag, $16 bottle of catalyst, and every shop should always add black ink, so I'm not going to add that into the cost. So you're so far $65 in on this, and especially Christmas item that we're printing. But again, something good for you guys to have to print in your arsenal. So we're back from the washout booth. Our screen is burned, washed out, it is dry. We're going to bring the screen down and get it lined up on our small pallet. We want to make sure all of contact is set correctly, everything is centered. So we're going to set that now. place where we want it. Make sure we're center of this pallet. So one color is pretty simple little design here. Get our screen locked in, still straight, but our off contact is off. This is important, off contact. Just like when printing hoodies, you need to make sure you have enough off contact with these specialty style garments. In this case, it is that specialty book bag. We're gonna have a decent amount of off contact there. We'll bring it up. Our screen is taped. Just so you guys can see how this is gonna look. Our little pocket here is what we have open. We're gonna slide it in. And there's a seam at the bottom of this bag. So my plan is to pull the bag up as far as I can against that seam. That'll let me know that I'm straight with the bag. And you see how it's centered there. For that, we'll add our pallet tack. This is Tex Mist. Dry it off a little bit. Slide our bag on. Make sure we're centered. See how nice and flat that is. So that's how we're going to look. You see our off contact feels pretty good there. Now we will add our ink that we mixed earlier. Give it a quick stir, loosen it up some. It's been sitting for about 45 minutes to an hour. We got one shot at this to print. Again, this is why you do these types of garments during Christmas, because if you mess it up, your family still has to love you, regardless of how it looks. So it's always good to test out your first time prints on family than it is customers. We don't need a lot here. Again, our print is going to be smooth here. Get you a nice flood. That's how we look. It's nice and thick. Now we'll take this over to the dryer. And so we'll make sure, now this is a thicker style garment. A lot of dryers will have your entryways, the doors on the entrance of the dryer and the exit feet of the dryer. Make sure that's high enough so that this bag can flow all the way through without getting knocked. We have our belt speed turned up. This is a poly bag, so we don't want to cook the bag or burn it, so we have our belt speed turned up. But because this ink is mixed with the catalyst, it is going to dry a whole lot quicker because that glue sets pretty quick. So we're going to send it through the dryer here, flat. Looks good. Fold it up a little bit. You can see the flaps on this bag kind of folded up when it went through the heat because we had it at a high temperature. So if I had more bags of print, I would have sped up my belt speed, just knowing this fact, but it did not ruin anything. So there's our bag, there's our print. That is solid. All right, here's our final product out of the dryer. You can see as it first came out, the lips of the bottom of the bag was curled up as it came out of the dryer. After it set and cooled down, the bottoms unfolded, so we're good there now. It was a little hot coming out, so again, if you had multiple bags of print, you would know to speed the belt up on the dryer. But all in all, nice print. We've got a $45 bag. $16 bottle of catalyst if you don't have these in your shop. All in all, costs about 70 bucks total. And if you went out at any mall or anywhere to buy this, it's going to be a good $100, $120 bag. But again, this is the first video in our whole series of oddball prints. Very simple, standard black ink. We added the nylon bonding agent so that this ink could adhere to this polyester bag. Very simple, a lot of tips and tricks throughout this video that you saw that we'll use in upcoming videos. If you liked it, check out the next set of videos we have in this Christmas series. Thanks.